When you go commando, anything can happen. New water and an unknown bite can often lead to trouble.
I had him.
But once in a while, all the elements come together. Today is one of the most unique commando missions ever. Sight fishing giant double-digit walleyes in waters so clear, spotting fish on bottom in 30 feet was easy. Catching them was a bit more difficult.
I love fishing new water. The challenge is always the same. Find fish, trigger strikes. Ooh, that's a big fish. But what I really love is beating the other guy. I got a fish. This is Lake Commandos.
Lake Commandos' Steve Pennaz and veteran guide Brett Alexander are on the road in Wisconsin's legendary Door County and on the hunt for springtime Great Lakes walleyes. Big water and big fish is the reputation of this part of the world, but post-spawn walleyes are never a guarantee. Here's the mission: locate and catch big post-spawn migrating walleyes in super clear cold water. Brett Alexander is one of the best guides in the business on the Bay of Green Bay. But in true commando fashion, the guys aren't going to fish familiar water today. Instead, they'll concentrate on the Lake Michigan side of the Door County Peninsula, near the mouth of the Sturgeon Bay Shipping Canal, where the plan is to intercept migrating post-spawn walleyes. It's all a matter of timing and just the right presentation.
We've got a lot of big walleyes that just finished spawning and they're starting to put on the feed bag. One technique that I've kind of fine-tuned through the years for this time of the year is swim baiting large plastics. The setup we're going to be using today is we got a 7-foot Abu Garcia volatile rod, which is a great rod for this technique. We got it spooled up with 12-pound nano. I like the nano a lot because you can take long casts in this clear water and get that bait far away from the boat, which is critical. The key to what we're doing today is going to be the plastic. One of my favorites is a 4.5-inch Berkeley rib shad, and I got a large 3/4 ounce or 1 ounce head. If it's real windy, I'll go to the 1 ounce, but today I'm going to throw a 3/4 ounce head with a big hook. These are big baits. We're fishing for big fish. One thing I got to say to Steve Pennaz, you're up in my neck of the woods, and it's game on today, buddy. Let's go.
I know Brett's a big fan of the swim bait pattern, but I'm gonna go old school today. I got my Fribble bait bucket full of 4 to 5-inch sucker minnows. I've got a 7-foot Abu Garcia volatile rod. It's a medium heavy. There's some big fish in here. We're looking for 8 to 10-pound walleyes, maybe even 12. I've got 10-pound 100% fluorocarbon. It's a trilene product, super for this clear water, virtually invisible. I've got about a 1/4 ounce weight, a swivel that comes down to a nice big wide gap hook for these big baits. It's me against the mighty Brett Alexander, a legend in this area, and he's going down today.
Wisconsin state law allows each angler to fish 2 lines at a time, so that allows us to put a little twist on today's commando battle. Instead of fishing one pattern at a time, the commandos are going to fish both Brett's swim bait and Steve's live bait at the same time. The swim bait is best under low light conditions, so it wasn't a surprise that with the sun still low, Steve put the first big walleye in the boat on the Berkeley rib shad. But as the sun got higher and the wind and current died, the live bait started to turn on.
That's a good fish, Brett.
Good.
Big fish. Look at that bait coming out of his mouth right here. I'll be honest with you, I thought that swim bait pattern was going to work today. We caught a fish on it right away, but it just wasn't to be with these conditions. High sun, crystal clear water, and no clouds. Beautiful walleye. See this? He's tagged right here. That's really cool. Let's drop him back and get another one, huh?
Right on.
Steve Pennaz is off to a great start, but few know Great Lakes walleyes better than Brett Alexander, and he won't stay down for long.
Oh, man!
Lake Commandos is brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Trilene, Anglers Trust Berkeley Trilene. Abu Garcia, for life. Power Pole, shallow water anchor. Swift, silent, secure. Garmin, the clearest scanning sonar images on the water. And by Plano.
The Lake Commandos are on the hunt for giant, post-spawn Great Lakes walleyes, and Steve Pennaz has an early lead on veteran Green Bay guide Brett Alexander. But holding that lead won't be easy. Brett has been a professional angler and guide for more than 25 years. He's also an accomplished tournament fisherman and outdoor writer.
Hey, Brett's reputation as a guide on Green Bay preceded him, and I've had a chance to meet him several times at industry events. Great guy, great reputation, and a great angler.
Oh, he's going straight down.
Straight down, that's a good sign.
Oh yeah, nice
Oh
shot.
yeah, there he is.
Yeah.
Oh, Brett, this is a... That's a tank.
Yeah, that's a toad. He's thick too.
Yes. Nice fish. Nice fish.
The conditions today were crazy. I've never seen so many condition changes in one day as I did today. We had currents that switched 3 different times. We had crystal clear water, then we had dirty water, and then back to crystal clear water. And I think this one's bigger than yours too.
Yes, it is.
So we'll get this big gal back in the water.
No, conditions right now are brutal in terms of high sun, no wind. The current has actually died, the wind has died. And these fish are just not responding to the cast anymore. We caught one, lost one on a swim baits, but so what I've done is I've set up a second live bait rod.
Basically, when I'm working a live bait rig, what I'm doing is on a bright sunny day, we're trying to stay in the deepest part of the water column in the area that the fish are. They're going to hunker in the deepest holes and just working it as natural as possible down close to the bottom where the walleyes are hanging, just trying to entice them to bite.
Got him. Yep, got him, Brett. It's a big fish, man.
What a big fish.
Oh. Yes! Oh, look at this giant.
Yeah, that's a sow.
God, they're so fat. I mean, look at that. What do you think, 29?
29.
That's just a tank.
Yeah, she's got a good gut on her too.
Look at that. She spawned yet, you think?
Yeah, she's filling back out already though. She did dump already, but
Look at that. Boy, what a tank. You know, one of the things I learned from Brett today was don't underestimate how sensitive these fish are to this clear water. I was running my bait back maybe 30, 40 feet from the boat. He set the hook, we went about here to the wall. I mean, he was probably 75 to 80 feet back. So I went back on the line cutter here on the 6500 and went back to 70 feet. Boom, got a bite. So we picked up 2 now in this river mouth.
The Commandos are closing in on the secret to these giant clear water walleyes, and the score is all tied up. But things are about to take an unusual twist, at least for the world of walleye fishing.
Ooh, there's a giant right there. Oh, oh. That's a big fish.
This segment is brought to you by Yeti Coolers. Yeti, wildly stronger, keep ice longer.
Steve Pennaz and Brett Alexander are locked in a springtime big walleye battle on the crystal clear waters of Lake Michigan. Water so clear that the guys are about to add a very rare dimension to walleye fishing.
Ooh, there's a giant right there. Oh. That's a big fish. I've never sight fished walleyes before, but we could see down in this water 25 to 30 feet and clearly see the fish. In a lifetime, I've never had that happen before. Look at that's one right there.
One right there, yeah.
I can tell you how clear the water is, but until you actually see it yourself, you'll never believe me. We saw a 5-gallon bucket on the bottom in 30 feet of water. It looked like a pop can. We'd see these giant walleyes swimming next to the boat down in 30 feet of water. I've never had that happen before. Ooh, oh, that's a bruiser.
That's a hog, man.
That is a fat one.
And this one.
Bring him up here.
Oh,
Got him. Oh, this thing is a massive beast.
That is a big.
Oh! Brett, look at the size of that fish.
That's a giant, man. Wow.
Oh, that's a good fish, man.
You're up next.
And what's exciting me, we're seeing fish along this entire break, and if we can get them to go, we're going to have a
They're
ball.
right on the drop, man, and they're stacked. They're just like Cortwood laying in there, a bunch of them. So we're going to get a couple more big ones like this.
There?
Yep.
Oh, man. He's putting on a clinic.
Oh, yeah, that's a giant. This is bigger yet.
Oh, gosh,
Oh, yeah,
it's
this
beautiful in that water.
Fish, man.
Ooh. Got her. Got her.
Oh, that was
man.
bigger yet.
That thing is 10.5 pounds.
Oh,
Look at that
wow.
stud.
Man, that's a big fish, eh?
Oh, man.
Whew. She is big.
Right in the corner of the mouth,
Yeah,
huh?
right where it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Brett, that is a giant.
That's a good fish.
Look at that. Yeah. I learned a couple things today from Brett. Number one, I was fishing way too close to the boat in this clear water. I had maybe 40 to 60 feet of line out. He was running 80 to 90 feet. And when he started catching fish, the first thing he said is go to a lighter sinker, and 2, let a lot more line.
Here it comes.
Oh my gosh, that's a huge fish.
Oh, she's so powerful.
Look how thick that fish is.
Ready?
Yeah. Oh gosh. What a giant.
That's a tank, man. That thing's 13 pounds.
This thing is huge.
That's a 13 pounder, dude.
I can't even lift it.
It's gotta be at least that.
Look at the size of that. Oh gosh.
Yeah, that's a giant, dude. Look at how thick. Look at a girth
It's
on
just
it.
so thick.
Yeah, it's huge.
Dude. Are we having fun yet?
Yeah.
That is a stud.
It's probably one of my top, 5 to 10 outings ever for giant walleyes. We didn't put a huge number of fish in the boat, but the fish that we put in the boat, on an average, were giant.
Look at a fish right there. There's a walleye. He's got it. He's got it. He's got it. Look at him go. Look at him go.
Oh, I got one.
Yeah. Oh, I missed him. Oh, I missed him too.
Basically, what's happening right now is we've got the perfect storm. We had dirty water, and then it started to clean up, and we searched around, and we were more hunting these fish than anything with our eyes and looking for them. And we found where the mother lode set up. And all we're doing is short little drifts. There's about 100 walleyes stacked right in this little corner right here. And because all the rest of the water is all clean and clear around us, this is where they feel protected. So they're all here. And it doesn't happen like this every day, but we got lucky today and it's happening right now.
The Commandos are caught up in a once-in-a-lifetime big walleye bonanza. The only question left is, which commando can catch the most?
Got him.
Lake Commandos is brought to you by Yamaha Marine. Reliability starts here. Yeti, wildly stronger. Keep ice longer. Fraybill. Berkley Power Bait. Fish bite and won't let go. And by Abu Garcia for life.
They're right there. There's another one right there.
The Lake Commandos have dialed in an extremely rare trophy walleye sight fishing bite, and Brett Alexander is trying to build on an already solid lead.
Oh, here he goes.
Got a bite?
Yeah, he's on it. Got him.
You got him?
Got him.
Man!
You get your fish, I can take care of that.
I got him!
Got him?
Ooh, that's a big one. A double on 10-pound walleyes. This is unbelievable.
Oh, that's a big fish, dude.
That's a giant. Oh! Oh, I just lost him!
Oh,
What is going on?
better sharpen your hooks there, Pennaz.
Look at that bait right there.
Hey, Pennaz, you want to touch my walleye? He's right here. Come and touch him.
Let me see it.
He's only about 28.
We had a double
Yeah.
fish like that just now, and
yeah.
that blew it.
They're eating now,
Now
buddy.
you're up by 4, dude.
I'm gonna let this one swim. Got him?
Got him.
Yeah!
Yes!
There is a God.
I just can't believe how big these things
Oh,
are.
here we go. I
You
got
a
him.
bump?
Got him.
Our second double. Get the net, dude.
I got it.
Net that beast for me, will
We're
you?
gonna shake this baby off. How much is that bet? Oh, you owe me $1 from before too. That's just a 31 right there, Steve.
Oh my gosh. Look at this, is probably the biggest walleye I've ever caught. Look at this. I mean, we got a double. Look at the size of this walleye right
Hang
here.
on this.
Look at this.
Oh, I just lost mine.
no!
Oh,
Look at this walleye.
Pennaz.
Is that
That's
huge?
a big fish, dude.
That is a massive. Look at that.
Ooh.
In a lifetime of fishing walleye, I have never had a day like today. I mean, we had probably 12 to 15 fish over 9 pounds. We had 2 fish over 10 and 2 fish over 12. Where can you fish anywhere in the world to get those kind of fish? Right here. Oh, that's fun to watch them go. Man, I gotta thank you for the most epic day of walleye fishing I've ever had.
I'll tell you what,
that was insane.
It's probably one of my top 5 too. So it's
Is that
pretty
right?
darn good, yeah.
Oh, I mean, what was the smallest fish?
They were all 7.5 to, I would say, 12.5 pounds. Everyone.
Well, you won. You're the official, the top commando today, but I don't care. That's the first time I've ever said that. I don't ever want to lose, but I tell you what, let's clean up this boat. We made a mess, and let's head back in.
All right, sounds great.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
One of the great things about this trip is we fished Table Rock Lake yesterday. We targeted big bass. We caught smallmouth, meanmouth, largemouth, spotted bass. And we fished the same boat, the same tackle, and came over here and got some nice trout. You can't do that just about everywhere. All right, you two.
I'm Captain George Mitchell. This is Coastal Chaos. Welcome to sunny South Florida. We're going to be doing a little bit of summertime dolphin fishing today. We did our homework on the internet,
We got a good starting point, but now we're down on the boat and we're going to utilize the TZ Touch. That's our Furuno system. Now we can get some real-time data off of this, but we can also do a lot of planning based on our cartography. All right, so now we're arrived. We're here where we think the fish are going to be. I want to make sure I've got my entire spread ready. I got my bigger plastics, those are my chuggers and my jet heads. Those are going to go in the mid-water back there. And then I've got my little yellow nylure. I love this thing. It's a little lead head jig. It's a 1/2 ounce jig. I'm going to put it way, way, way back. It's a dolphin catching fool. But I'm also going to have ready is my fish finder. This is the Sebile popper. Now the cool thing about this is if we see birds working or perhaps maybe even see something floating, we can cast it towards that chug, chug, chug. That'll get the fish's attention and oftentimes bring them right to us. Another great tool when you're dolphin fishing is going to be a set of binoculars, maybe even 2. The old guys are good, but they're not what they used to be. Got a bite, got a dolphin. That's what we came for. All right, the important thing to remember about dolphin is there's usually more than one. Now that's the weed line that we caught this fish off. We had just gone through the first one and we were approaching the second one. Remember, the beauty of that weed is it holds all kinds of microscopic fish that the other fish are eating that this dolphin's eating. Now that's what we came for. That's a perfect size schoolie. That's about a 6-pounder, 7-pounder right there. That's gonna make for some pretty good sandwiches for dinner. I like it. Let's go get some more.
Coastal Chaos, tips for serious saltwater anglers.